Look at that picture, isn't that amazing?
I think she looks like my children. I think she looks like...
Yes.
Because she's got my colouring, but the other one hasn't. But that particularly looks like my big girl. But my big girl looks white because I'm mixed of mixed, and then my partner's white, so they're mixed again. I was hoping they might get some of the throwback.
Genes come through.
They might do, but they haven't really. But yeah, so I just find old pictures. I find them really interesting.
They've got such a quality about them, haven't they?
Yeah.
So you grew up in Camden?
Yeah. Yeah, that's my mum, who also grew up in Camden in a dressed as a merry-go-round. Look at that! Imagine dressing as a cigarette for a fancy dress party, for a fancy dress competition at Butlins. Not Pontins or Butlins or somewhere that is.
It's a perfect thing for dressing Butlins.
Bag, yeah. Funny, isn't it? But yeah, that's one of my favourite pictures of the way in the world.
Amazing.
That's amazing. Yeah.
Look what she could do.
It's mad, isn't it?
Incredible. Anybody can do that. It's incredible.
I know, it's mad, isn't it? But yeah, the albums are terrible, but I just thought they might be interesting.
Oh, it's amazing. Oh wow. Let me think about things that I didn't think about until I had a child, of the things that it's not just what we talk about that transmits through the generations. Yeah. You know, you wonder what you've got of him.
Yeah, of course you do.
Do you know what I mean? Even just in the way that you view the world, or little things that you kind of collect
that he must
in your DNA.
Exactly, he must have given to my mum that I get, you know. Yeah. And that's what I say to Delilah. It would have been my mum's birthday last week. My mum died at 55, 18 years ago. But it would have been her birthday last week, and Delilah made her a bead necklace, my big girl, and she wants to wear it and go to the cemetery, and she wants to give it to us for her. But she asks me a lot about her and talks about her a lot because she never met her, and I'm very conscious of the fact that I'm doing the same thing. I'm not reading because I'm talking to somebody. My children haven't got their grandparents either in the same way that I did them, so I'm conscious of trying, mindful of keeping the whole thing alive and having pictures and, you know, around and keeping them keeping the existence, especially because my children look white but they have black heritage.
Indeed.
You know, it's quite important to me, especially because my mum was very proactive in black politics and women's politics. It's quite important to me that they understand that they are of black origin, ethnic or black, you know, they're African origin. Delilah says to Dave, she says it's not Daddy's fault he's white, he's not African like us.
I was born in London. My parents came from Thailand in the 70s. They actually met here.
Did they?
Which was nice. So they came separately and they met here and made a family here. But they were very strict in wanting me to know my culture, which was very sensible, and I'm very grateful. They wouldn't speak English to us. They sent us to Thai school. There's a Thai temple in Wimbledon, which I recommend all you to go. It's beautiful. So we went there to learn Thai every Sunday, and I think I went until I was 16 or something.
Yeah.
So I can speak Thai, which is great. So I'm trying to pass that on to Dara here. We're actually going to Thailand on Friday.
Wow.
So I'm very excited. A big holiday before I start work again. But it'll be good because my parents are there at the moment, so she'll get to see her grandparents, and it's just before the Thai New Year actually, which is on the 12th, 13th and 14th of April. And Thai New Year means huge water fight. Because it's like summer, it's the peak of the summer season. So everyone just has you see people sell like buckets of normal water and buckets of ice cold water, so you can literally just chuck it at anyone in the street and you're not allowed to be not allowed to be angry or anything. Because everyone just everyone just throws water at everyone. And then there's also like flour and like coloured flour, so it's quite nice.
Yeah, the Chinese New Year celebration, and they have 12 signs of the the tradition. It's coordinate. I forgot this.
Is it?
The last words.
12 signs. Zodiac.
Zodiac.
Yeah. Chinese zodiac.
Yeah, zodiac. Yeah, every year is different. But I think they start like rat. The rat is the first one, and then cow and tiger, rabbit, dragon, snake, and horse, sheep, monkey, and rooster. This year is the year of rooster, and dog and pig, something like that. And the first tradition, before the celebration, Chinese New Year, the people normally have to clean the house, like tidy up the house. They believe like if they clean the house, going to be like stopping the disease. Like the story, the old people they say that the coming. And
kind of like clearing the way for the new good things to come.
The old things like like unluck or something, and the new year's coming like bring luck. That's what they believe.
So next week is Persian New Year.
Yes, basically we have different calendar. It's a solar calendar, and it's the same day each year. I mean, it's not like Chinese calendar, which is lunar. It's changing every year. So basically, it's either 20th of March or 21st of March. It depends on the leap year. So this year is on 20th of March. It's a very big celebration in my country and in some other countries who follow this Persian New Year. And schools are closed for 2 weeks. A bank holiday for 5 days. So it's a really big celebration, and it's because the spring. That's even the nature is changed so everywhere, and I really miss it here. Still, we celebrate it here. I mean, with some Iranian friends and some international friends, but I never can have the feeling that I have back in my country, because everything is just going on as a routine. I can't have. Sometimes I can have a day off from my work, but sometimes not, because people don't know about it. Yeah, because it's not a religious thing, it's traditional thing, and it's from Zoroastrian time. I mean, from that religion basically. We set a table and we put at least 7 items on that table, which starts with S, and each item is a symbol of something. For example, apple is one of them, which is called sib in my language, and it's a symbol of health. So the other items, for example, coin, which is seke in my language, is just symbol of wealth. So we wish, ourselves and each other, to have these 7 things for the next year.
In France, for Christmas, they have 13 desserts, and so when I first went for Christmas there, I thought, okay, obviously not, you can't actually eat those desserts.
Yeah.
But so we're all sitting down, and so you can have 1 grape and 1 nut, and that melts up. And I thought, oh yeah, I'll just, start with 6, it'll be alright. But all your family were like, no, you have to, they're quite militant about it.
Like,
you have to have
13. Right? You've got to have 13. Yeah.
And I'd never had that before, and I thought, I could just get away with, a bit. But they were quite vigilant on my plate.
Wow.
It's not seen as religious. I haven't seen it particularly practicing anymore, in general. But there's a lot of these byproducts, and that's one of them. So 13 desserts has got to be the 13 apostles.
Yeah.
But yeah, you usually have about 20 different desserts, a variety of fruits and sweets and things, chocolates and so on. So you have a bit of choice, but it can be quite overwhelming. Yeah.
That's that food thing again, isn't it? Sitting and eating.
If it was cheese, it'd be fine.
Is there a meal that goes like? Is it just desserts? You go for a dessert dinner.
It's just. Oh no, you have the meal before.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
The whole table is full of desserts. Yeah. So you'll have had a goose or turkey before that, and all the trimmings.
And then you just build it. So what? And you say so a nut would be one dessert, and then
you've got 4 different types of nuts, so you can have could count 4. So there's tricks around it for those who don't want to eat too much.
Yeah.
But still a lot.
It is nice.
I'd like to talk about Christmas. Where the region I come from is, I'm from Spain, from the north of Spain, Mediterranean side. And what we celebrate Christmas is quite peculiar because we have a very small piece of wood that looks like a dog, and we call it tio. So we feed the tio for about 2 weeks, and on Christmas Day we take a stick, we cover the tio with a blanket. He is been eating vegetables mostly, so during that weeks he is completely fed, that's fine. And then we start to sing a song and hit the tio to shit presents. So what we do is caga tio, if you don't shit, we're gonna hit you. And then starts to lots of lovely sweets for the kids. So, and that is a celebration that we do on Christmas Day in the region I'm come from, this Catalonia.
But today we chose to talk about 1st of March, and we celebrate the beginning of spring.
And this is what we wear.
Yeah, on 1st of March we're supposed to wear something called martenitsa, and it's usually made of wool or cotton or whatever you've got at home.
And I can make some.
Yeah, Nick made some at school. And on every 1st of March you need to get this as a present. You should not get it from the shops or make your own. You need to get from someone, from family, friends, and you need to give some as well. So the main things is about wearing the martenitsa. It's about, we believe that the spring will come soon, and this little thing will bring us happiness, good health, and just good energy. They're always about positive thinking and celebrating. It's about, we believe, this is the woman connected to March this month, and if she's in a good mood, we'll have a nice weather. That's how we joke. If the weather is, oh, she's in a good mood today, this is the jokes we're using to say. And we need to wear it until we see a stork or we see some blossoms, and then we need to put it on a tree, a blossomy tree. And if you see trees here around Haringey, because I know lots of Bulgarian people live here, and I saw a few trees full of these red and white things, and maybe some people look strange, but yeah, this is us. It's like welcoming the spring, waiting. We believe the spring will come sooner this way, and we'll just get rid of the winter.
There are one night in August, it is on 13th of August, that in my city we believe that putting a lot of fireworks into the sky will make disappear the bad spirits, and the city will be rid of all bad influence, and good things could come, like at that time good harvest, richness and prosperity for the city. So I think that it started with the Romans. I don't know how they started with the fireworks, putting them in the sky. But on the 13th of August, starting at 11, every single building, because there we have buildings on flats, have fireworks from 11 to 12, and the children in the streets, they have their more fireworks, and from 1 hour the whole city is bang, ping, pam, boom, the sky is full of color, and until 12, when the big firework we call Palmera is all white. It comes from the town hall into the sky, and it makes the whole sky white. For that, oh, I forgot, before that, 1 minute after, the whole city shut the lights in all the buildings, all the public lights they shut, and then the white firework come and illuminate the whole sky.
What amazing!
And well, that's it. We call it Nit del Alba.
Wow.
Like the alba coming to the night.
Yeah, and the Moon Festival is come from this legend. Basically, a long time ago, there's a couple, and I think the husband went out, and then the wife will stay home, and somehow they have this cake. She have this not medicine, but they believe this medicine can be live forever. So somehow she was too greedy, so she ate it. So at the end, she started to fly and fly into the, and at the same time she was having a rabbit as well with her. So at the meantime she was flying to the sky somehow. In ancient time they believe this, and they fly, and at the end she fly to the moon. So if you on that day, 15th of August in Chinese calendar, if you check the moon and you can see the figures, I think the figure is quite like it. It's like a fairy, a lady. And it's called Chang'e. And the rabbit we name is Tu, something like this. So anyway, they were living. So at the end, they were living there together. So somehow I don't know, it linked to this as a family day because the moon is the fullest of the year. So if you you can check the moon, and 15th of August in Chinese calendar, you can see the moon is always round, and it always is the brightest day.
Wow.
Yeah, and then so that day we eat this moon cake, and some of them they go. So I remember we have different blanket, like picnic here, but on top of the building. So we're eating the cake and the moon cake, and then some fruit and the tea, and then we wait until the moon come out, and we eat and we play, and then and then we like seeing flower, but not flower, but we see the moon.
My town, my town celebrates every first day of spring. They celebrate the 40 martyrs. So the 40 martyrs, I didn't know this, even that we celebrated in what we do as a tradition is we have a really big hill, and then all the children and the adults will go and climb to the top of the hill, and they have to gather rocks. They have to gather 40 rocks on the way, and then when they get to the top of the hill, they throw them over into the river on the other side to celebrate the 40 martyrs. And then they have to shake hands with acquaintances, 39 of them, and they have to kiss the 40th one. Well, they don't necessarily have to, but you know, it's known that you'll marry the 40th one, you know, if you kiss them. So it's a kind of a bit of a one where children would hide their hands when they shake hands with 39 people, and they would just walk past people with their hand at their back until they choose something they would probably rather kiss.
Yeah.
And then the 40th rock as well, we keep and we put it under the pillow, and I think it's to give you good dreams, and it is related to religion. Even then, I don't think maybe we were never told the story that way because we grew up in socialism, so religion was not really a big part of our upbringing. And spring was celebrated, but traditional things still come through.
Yeah.
Maybe there were loads of people where their parents went to church. They knew the exact story when I asked my parents, because they seem to have got red cards, which were the socialist cards. They never went to church. They said, "Oh, I don't know. It was related to something religious, you know."
Yeah.
But what really happened is that the Roman army has sent Christians alongside all the way to Turkey when the Roman Empire was formed, and it seemed that the person that was in charge of the religion started believing that Christianity was not the only religion forward. So they got introduced into paganism at this point, and he decided to be very strict about it, and he said, right, whoever's not pagan, we're no longer going to tolerate this, you're going to be in prison.
Oh, wow.
So there were 40 of them, Christians, and they said, no, we're going to stay Christian, see what he does about it, because it was quite lots of them, and they were taught to be quite united and brave, and that was the whole moral of the story. So the person in charge said, so we'll imprison them for a week, let them think about it. So they imprisoned them for a week, and instead of them getting weaker, they started getting stronger because they were together, singing songs and making more effort than ever. We don't care, it's Christian, and we're going to stay like that. And then he said, well, let them think about another week, we're just not going to feed them anything. And then again it didn't work, and they were saying, oh, the faith is going to save us and we're going to be fine, we have each other, we don't need anything else. So then he thought about maybe sending them into a frozen lake nearby. And I found quite peculiar that he made warm baths next to the lake in case of somebody changing their minds. They could jump into the warm bath. Yeah, so eventually one person said, oh, I can't stand this frozen lake, I'm just going to go to the warm bath. Stepped out of the lake, walked towards the bath, had a heart attack, and died on the spot. So then the rest of them were just like, oh, we're better off in the lake, because as soon as you come out, you're dead.
Yeah.
So they started singing their songs again, and they sang for ages. Apparently it was midnight, all the guards fell asleep. There was only one guard that was actually still holding on, and he just thought, he saw apparently light coming down from the skies, and them being lifted up and joined together, and he decided to join them. So they were 40 again. So the person that was in charge of the region got really upset that now even one of the other guards joined this group and being converted to Christianism. So he said, okay, this is the end of it, they're going to be tortured, so they got to wear the crowns, the metal crowns, and be taken around the city and tortured, and I think they eventually got executed. And a few years later on, they were pronounced to be saints and good Christians, and what Christianity is about, and believing in the strength of being together, that we are stronger together, and their morals would live forever, that as Christians we have good faith.
It's called Momotaro, means peach boy. Yeah, so basically, once upon a time, there lived a old man in a village. So old man and his old wife lived in a village, and one day, old man went to the forest or the mountain to gather some woods, and then the wife, the old lady, went to the river to wash her clothes, and then the gigantic peach is floating towards her in the river. So she decided to pick it up and she took it home. And then they decided to cut it open, and actually the gigantic peach just opened itself, and then little giant baby was born out of the peach. So they decided to call him Peach Boy, which is Momotaro in Japanese. So and then he grew and grew so quickly to become a very strong and kind-hearted boy. And then there's this island called Ogre's Island. So they lived maybe few really bad ogres in red, blue and green, I think. And then he heard about it, so he decided to go defeat them, because they stole all the treasures from the villagers. So he wanted to go get the treasures back. So he asked his mom, the old lady, to make him special dumplings made from millet. So it's called millet dumplings. It's called the kibidango, which is the one of the really famous sweets from my hometown actually. Yeah, so my hometown is actually really famous for peaches. They produce loads of delicious very delicate peaches. That's why I think they made this story. So anyways, so he decided to go on the trip. So the lady made him really the most delicious millet dumplings in Japan. And then on the way he met a dog, and the dog asked a millet dumpling,
And he's like, yeah, fine, you can have it, but you have to follow me to go to the island. And then on their way, they met a monkey, and then he did the same thing, like, give me the dumpling, and then, yeah, you follow me. And he did. And a pheasant came along, and he asked for a millet dumpling. I was like, fine, you can have it, but you have to follow me. And then so, like, he had the 3 followers, and then they all went to the ogre's island.
Wow.
And then they're like, yeah, the ogres. So they all like fought together, they defeated them, and they promised, like, yeah, we're not going to do bad things again. So they got all the treasures back to the villagers. So that's the end of the story. And then like the really cool thing is that this story comes with a song. There are like only few, I think, like all stories of Japan, like which actually like, you know, have songs, you know, like to go along with the stories. So this one, has a song. Momotaro-san, Momotaro-san, okoshi ni tsuketa kibidango. In my own language.
Of course. Yeah.
Yeah. Okoshi ni tsuketa kibidango, hitotsu watashi ni kudasai na. あげましょうあげましょうこれから鬼の征伐についてくるならあげましょう
Oh yes, Sam, a guy who lived with us, told me a story. So this guy, used to always say, "Those are wolves, those are wolves." And then one day, there actually was, and no one believed him. So he got eaten.
Do you know what it's called?
Peppino, Peppino. Peppino, Peppino è andato dentro una foresta. C'era un lupo, ma nessuno la... I don't know how to say this right.
Right.
No one believed him. E dopo c'era un lupo e l'ha mangiato.
Cool.
And it's a real story.
Yeah?
Everyone in Italy knows it.
Oh, wow.
Everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do most probably in the wedding day, but it's they do in the Diwali or any festival, whatever I like. But this one I did because this is my job. I like to do henna, so I just want to advertising. So I took picture and send the picture. So you know, if someone like, then.
Yeah. Do you, and where do you do that? Do anybody that wants it, you can go and do it for them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just to stay about 1 week, but it's natural and it's nice.
Yeah.
Do you get some British people doing?
British no. Where I was working in another area. I had my Portuguese people.
Brazilians,
friends. Yeah, and I saw them and they like it, and I did too for them. Yeah, so they love it. But I don't think the British people they do. I don't know.
Yeah, they're not used to it yet. Yeah.
But India is they do this one is normal. I mean, on wedding day or.
What do you use? Like a pen or
a
brush?
It's a henna powder. We make a paste and put in like a cone. And
I see. So it's like
this. Yeah.
Have you done many times since you were young?
Yeah.
And do you do it for weddings then? Do people come to you for that? Because you say it's for traditional.
Yeah.
Is it traditionally for weddings?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I'm here, doing, I started getting into juggling and became a vegetarian, an animal activist, got into a lot of politics. You know, joined my local anarchist group. We went on all the anti-Poltec marches and you know, from anti-fascist marches. You know, supported the ANC. You know, bit of a veteran on the marches, so to speak. You know, and then I got into juggling. You know, at the same time. So I sort of started getting into circus stuff because my family was selling the equipment around the world through my mother and my aunt. You know, they started a company called Untold Juggling Company, and you know, sort of done their thing really, and that sort of influenced me. I got into clowning that way. Done lots of work actually around, you know, working for different organisations, corporate workshops, teaching workers how to juggle, and then sort of judging them with their bosses at the end of it, and we had to judge the bosses as well, so it was quite a sort of a community thing, you know what I mean, and I thought that was really good that the companies got involved in that, and here I am now, still in the nursery. And I've worked with the music groups here, all the groups that have come through this room, and all the parents that come through this room, and you know, they have a bit of history with me going into the nursery, all the children. I try to work really well with the children, you know. I always said I was going to leave, but you know, I'm still here.
Still time.
still time.
Well, we'll start with Say a Lullaby, and this one is usually sung to, so if like by an auntie or whoever's looking after the baby, so it just basically means hush baby, your mommy or daddy's coming back, the stars are leading them home or whatever, because lots back in the days, I'm sure you're aware, transport was pretty much like walking, so if they're going quite far away, it may take a couple of nights and they would stay over along the way. I think that like people, I remember even growing up when I was little, we welcome people around. We welcome people that we don't know, as long as they know, like we just ask them, oh well, where are you from? And who do you, so we kind of investigate where they're from, and if they say somebody we know, then we kind of like, it's like we know them as well. Does it make sense? So we welcomed quite a few strangers in our home and everything was okay, but it's just the community kind of thing that, you know, you help everybody out basically. If they, we call it ukhwalala, where the door dusk sets and they're not nowhere near home, so it's basically you can find refuge wherever you are. So yeah, so basically your mom and dad is going to make it home safe and sound, the stars will lead them home, kind of thing. That's the song. It's called Tula Tula. I'm sure you've heard of it. Tula Tula. Tula Tula Ma. Yes.
Let's hear it.
Yeah. I didn't bring my really loud drum, so hopefully this will still be okay. Got a better one at home. I couldn't find it. Alright. Tula tu tula mtwana tula sandwa tulu mamuzo buya eguseni tula tu tula mtwana tula sandwa tulu mamuzo buya eguseni ukoni kanyesi eholelu papa itibuya uzubuye kaya tula 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 mtwana tula tula sanda sanda